Alright, we're back for the unit review part 3. And I'm going to call it part 3. You know why I'm going to call it part 3? Because this is the third time I tried to start recording the part of the unit review. Now, we started off, I let you know where we were coming from in part 1. In part 2, I talked about the bugs and the monitoring spirits. Now, we actually picking up with the program. Are you ready? I hope you're ready now. I hope you took that information in and you're ready to walk with me. Let's go. So, the episode begins. There's a young man. He's got to go for a training exercise. It's not just him, but it's a grouping of them. It's him, his wife, and the rest of the people that are in his unit are meeting the night before they go in for the training exercise. But this guy, he recognizes he's got a cold, right? He's not feeling well. He recognizes that. And he is a little bit skeptical on going to this training under his condition. But he's not the type to really be one of those types of guys that's going to say, I'm not going to go in just because of a cold. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do my thing. Okay? I'm going to push myself. Now, with this being said, some of you, woman or man, you got to operate in a case that some of us, we've seen issues pop up in our lives. There are certain things that we're supposed to be doing, but the enemy will use that little thing to be the thing to prevent you from being able to receive the outer outcome on the opposite side of this thing coming to manifestation, because of the fact that you're like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I'm not this. Oh, I don't have that. Oh, I'm a little bit under, what have you. He said, no, I'm gonna go ahead and do it for you. Some of y'all are gonna go into a testing period, okay? If you've never been through this testing period and this is your first time, this is gonna be your testing period. If you've never gone through testing runs, it's gonna be your test runs. Sometimes the Lord's not going to allow you to not go through your testing run. October is usually a testing run season for a lot of people that have never been tested before. Now, for those of us that have been tested, we might not actually have to go through a testing run in October. We might be at peace in that season. It all depends on what season you're in, okay? Now, I'm praying for the season in relation to what my pastor said, that the enemy is going to be taken out in that season, and we ain't going to have to deal with the testing like that. But for some of y'all, yes, you're going to be tested. Yes, this is going to be your time frame. Yes, this is what's going to be happening. Yep. So for some of you with that testing season, it may look like God told you to do something. You've been sitting there trying to figure out, well, God, am I supposed to do something? Even for me, when I was supposed to come back to this channel, I felt like God has been leading me back in for about a month and a half. But I've been kind of like resistant to it. I wasn't ready to come back. And I knew I had set up stuff. I was ready to go. But I just hadn't taken the leap yet. I prayed about it. There were certain things that I had been praying about. And God provided. I believe that I'm on this device because God provided, because He wanted me to come back. He opened the pathway for me to be able to get on the ministry on this device. He allotted me the ability to shift. And I did that. I just had not come back yet. Even right down to the fact that I had sat down with ministerial counsel and I was seeking understanding, and because I didn't want to come back incorrect. And the ministerial counsel said, I know that you're expecting this thing to happen, but I need you to do what God's telling you to do. If He's telling you to come back to ministry, go back to ministry. So here I am. But sometimes what your test is, you might not feel ready. What really brought me back, I'm going to be honest with you, I was on my phone and I was frustrated that day. Usually just before your biggest breakthrough, you get your biggest frustration. And I was frustrated. I was praying to God for an answer about something. And he answered me immediately because I picked up my phone and I hit YouTube. And one of the other young women that I follow, she was talking about how something had occurred, which was identical. Not the exact same issue occurred the day before she came back to her ministry, but something had happened the day before she came back. And something happened to me the day before I posted that first video back. And I was like, God must be telling me now's the time I'm supposed to come back. So that was my test. I could have made an excuse. Even as you watch the video, you recognize I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be back here yet, but I'm here. Right? Right. So the enemy will come up against you mentally. Remember, we were talking about mental warfare. There's a Bible channel that talks about, they do little animations, and it talks about, and you can look this up, spiritual warfare that comes against a Christian. And it's a little animation that talks about spiritual warfare with the big-headed little stick man standing next to Jesus, talking about how the enemy brings spiritual warfare. It's a good video. But these are the types of things that will cause you to not move forward when God's saying, I need you to move in this direction right now. And sometimes he got to kick you. Or I'm reminded of the way that God pricked Paul while he was Psycho Saul. And he pricked him. Right? Some of y'all got to get that frustrated kick where you sitting up there and God's like, do what I told you to do. And it's one of those, sometimes God won't exactly say, I need you to go back to the ministry. But did he not say that though? I went to a pastoral council, and the pastor said, go back to doing what you were supposed to. So he did tell me, but he didn't say it. It wasn't God's voice saying, come, go back to ministry. It was the pastor. Because I was in debate because of my main minister. Should I come back? Because I had not done it the way that she was talking about. But he kind of opened my eyes and said, do what you're supposed to do. But sometimes we feel like we aren't prepared. The wife was asking the guy, hey, are you sure you want to do this? It's kind of like when Jesus, right? Jesus was about to go upon the cross. And I didn't even recognize this. Come on, God. Jesus was about to go on the cross. And when they put him in front of the council was saying, well, technically he's innocent. He's not supposed to do this. And the people were saying, and the main judge was like, but technically he's innocent though. And they're like, no, crucify him. And he's like, do you have any objection? And Jesus didn't say nothing. He could have said something. They didn't actually want to crucify him. But he was like, he knew he had to complete the project. And you're like, okay. Some of y'all got a level of crucifixion that y'all supposed to be going through. And some of you going to go through it in October. And in that level of crucifixion,